So, I'm Persephone. I'm the goddess of the underworld and the wife of Hades. People call me by a bunch of different names, like Kor, which means the maiden, and Corsitaria, which means the savior maiden, and a bunch of other different stuff. And I'm always like, it's not my name. My father was Zeus, and this was like way before he was married to Hera, so like there was no affair or anything like that. And my mother was Demeter. She's the goddess of bountiful harvest. I had a pretty great childhood. My mom was really nurturing, and I hung out with my half-sisters, Aphrodite and Athena, like all the time. But when I started getting older, I got like really pretty. And I attracted the attention of Hades, and he decided that he wanted to marry me. So he went to my father and asked for my hand in marriage, and Zeus said yes. They forgot one tiny detail. Neither of them told me about it. So picture it. I'm hanging out in this field with my friends, and all of a sudden, this pit opens up, and I get dragged down into the underworld. And it's Hades, and he's like, I want to marry you. And I was like, okay. So my mom was like freaking out about it because, you know, I was missing. So her and Hecate went searching for me all over the place with these torches. And they couldn't find me. So they went to my dad. And my mom was like, Persephone's missing. And my dad was like, well, yeah, because she's married to Hades. And my mom was really, really angry about it. So she refused to let the earth, fruit until I returned. But I was having a great time in the underworld. I mean, I had a ton of power. Hades isn't that bad. And so while I was down there, I ate pomegranate seeds. And if you eat while you're in the underworld, you're stuck there. So I couldn't just go back home. So my mom and my dad and Hades worked out this deal where I would spend the winter months in the underworld, and then I would spend the rest of the year on Earth with my mother. But while I'm in the underworld, my mom is super depressed, so the Earth doesn't fruit. And then when I come back in the spring, everything blooms because I'm back. But even though I'm on Earth most of the time, I still end up being in the underworld every time somebody comes down there. I don't really get it either, I just kind of go with it. But I'm a great hostess. Like, when Hercules needed my three-headed dog Cerberus to complete his 12 tasks, I just gave it to him because, you know, I'm such a good person. And when Psyche needed my help to complete Aphrodite's tasks so that she could be with her husband again, I gave her some of my beauty serum because, let's face it, who wouldn't want to be this pretty? And like, my half-sister Aphrodite was seeing this guy on the side. His name was Adonis. And her husband started to get super suspicious about it. So I agreed to let him come stay in the underworld with me. And the problem was, he was really cute and really charming, and I fell for him. So when Aphrodite asked for him back, I said no, because I wanted him. So we got into this huge fight, and my dad had to come down and resolve it. So we figured out that Adonis would spend a third of the year in the underworld with me, a third of the year with Aphrodite, and then the rest of the year he could do whatever he wanted. He chose to spend that time hunting, and died in a hunting accident about 2 years later, which really sucked. I mean, he was a great guy. My story is one of the oldest Greek myths and one of the best known. I personify the universal concepts of life and death. In my youth, I represented the bond between a mother and a daughter and how difficult the transition can be from, you know, living with your parents to being married. I'm connected to the cycles of the earth, so like when I'm in the underworld, everything's barren, and then when I come back in the spring, it blooms again. And then when I entered the underworld, the transition was really hard and changed my life. And it was after that transition that I am remembered for my role as goddess of the underworld.